What's up everybody, Tommy Har with the real side of real estate. In today's video, I'm gonna share with you guys the real side of real estate and how you can lose money on fixing and flipping houses. I don't know many people that talk about their losses, but over here, I like to talk about them because you guys can learn from my mistakes. And at the end of the day, if you win more than you lose, that's still a good business model. I don't know anybody that has scaled a flipping business and has batted 100 for 100. So if you want to get into flipping, you have to get over the fear of losing cash. And in today's example, I'm going to give you a property that we're about to lose $25,000 on. And we're going to give you three examples. One that went exactly to plan and we made money, one that didn't go to plan and still made money, and one that we are losing money on because everything didn't go to plan, and why. So it's going to be a fun video. I'm going to show you some before and afters, open up my project trackers, and give you guys real numbers. Without further ado, let's get to it. Alright guys, so to get started, I'm just going to go into the losing money. So losing money, it's going to happen in real estate. If you're flipping houses, there is inherent risk in flipping. So you have to get over that. So I lost a bunch of money on my first flip. If you guys know my story, I had no idea what I was doing. I flipped a house with my uncle. We ended up losing 100 grand 18 months later. Since that time in 2018, it's now 2025, almost 2026. I've flipped hundreds of houses, made millions of dollars, but I still lose money from time to time on flips. So out of the 300 that we flipped, let's call it, I've probably lost 20 on 25 of those. So that's a great batting average. If we're talking baseball numbers, I'm going to the Hall of Fame. So don't be afraid of losing money. Now, don't get me wrong, it sucks. It really sucks. Like tomorrow when this house closes right in front of me, I'm losing 25 grand, maybe a little bit more. But there's a couple mindset things we need to go through, and I can tell you why on this exact house. But the biggest thing is knowing that, okay, real estate, especially flipping, is risky. Markets can change. Houses, when you start opening up walls, can have issues that you maybe did not know was going to happen. Make sure you get home inspections on your properties if you can. Make sure you understand designs. Make sure you get help. If you're doing this with blinders on and you have nobody looking over your shoulder and you have nobody helping you out, as in like a designer, a realtor, a partner, something, or a mentor, you're gonna end up losing money faster than you don't. But then again, like I invite failure because I can learn from them. So like this house right here, I learned what my mistake was and we're not gonna ever do it again. So for example, this house right here, we bought it for $160,000 off the market. So it hit the market, we were like, that's a deal, it's gonna be great. And it looked like it needed a cosmetic renovation. So it's a 3-bed, 2-bath, 1,675 square foot. We're like, this sits on almost 2 acres. This is a great deal. There's comps in the area for 275 to 300. We're gonna blow this thing out of the water. It needs a 50 grand rehab. We ended up walking the property. Now this is a mistake on my end. We sent our newer team member, and this isn't an excuse, we sent our newer team member to walk the house. And he did not let us know that the floors felt like they were sloping a little bit. This house sits on a crawl space, and the upstairs of this house is really, really tight. So it's a Cape Cod, and you can hardly stand upstairs. So the upstairs wipes out pretty much a bathroom and another probably 500 square foot of livable space. So realistically, we should have been looking at this house as if it was a 2-bed, 1-bath, 1,100 square foot. So right away, it took our ARV or sales, what we would have looked at it as like a 250 ARV. So we would have dialed everything back. We would have understood what we were working with, but instead, we built our budget and we did all these things and we ran our numbers on the front end as if we were gonna fully renovate this thing, which we did. But we signed on the dotted line, we raised money, we purchased this house. We let the owner stay in the property for 30 days after. We then got in the house and I got a call from my project manager saying, Tom, we have a huge, huge problem with this house. And I'll show you guys what the problem was here. We got into this, so we bought this. As you can see, I have 3,000 pictures of this from start to finish. We sell it tomorrow. So I'm gonna go to my oldest pictures first. So it's February 5th. So February 5th was the first time we walked it. I'm selling it in September. So one of the reasons why we're losing money is hold time. I've held this property for a long, long time. All right, so we're walking through it. This is before it was demoed. I guess I can show you guys that. So decent little house. And let me remind you, like, this can happen to you too. My acquisitions team member, he is good. He understands real estate, but he's not. He's maybe a lot like maybe some of you guys. You guys don't walk houses every day. You don't come from a home inspection background. This house didn't look like it was falling in. I mean, you can see the kitchen here. Somebody was living in this house. Like the kitchen, the ceilings aren't falling apart. Like when I post this video on the internet, people are like, oh, you're an idiot. You do this. It's like, if you look at these pictures, this house does not look that bad. It looks like a quick cosmetic rehab. So like you got your bathroom here. Going upstairs, like this house does not look like it's falling apart. The upstairs here, you can see how short and shallow the ceilings are. But at the end of the day, like that's not always a deal breaker. But what happened was we got in and we realized after we had purchased it, let me show you guys some pictures here, that this flooring system was completely falling in on itself. The foundation was bad, there was termite damage everywhere, and we had to literally rip up the entire flooring system and redo it all. So I'm gonna show you guys what that looked like. We had to actually I'm gonna show you guys the pictures and then I'll get into it.
We also had a 8-minute YouTube video on it 5 months ago.
Yeah, we also have a YouTube video on it 5 months ago. Okay, here we go. So here on February 20th, actually let's go to February 27th. Here's our pictures of this house having to be completely ripped open and redone. So all of these floor joists are bad. All of the support systems under the floor joists are bad. We couldn't get access to the crawl space. My team member, unfortunately, thought it was on a slab, which is somewhat reasonable. And I should have known better to say, hey, let's look in the crawl, but we couldn't. So you can see how, like, there's dirt in the crawl space and it causes mold and rot up in your subfloor, and it caused this entire house to basically fall in on each other in a bunch of different areas. So now we're in a predicament. And like, look at this. This house is being held up by just cinder blocks stacked up in a crawl space. So there's a few lessons I want to give you guys here. Number one, always get a home inspection before you purchase if you can. If it's a screaming deal, maybe not. But this one was a great deal. It wasn't an amazing deal. If it was a great deal, we would have still made money. So this was a base hit flip that went sideways. So get a home inspection. Number two is understand ages of home. So look at this main beam, how crushed it is. So this house was just falling in. Always have a contingency budget. Run 20% on top of your main budget for oh shit moments. But this oh shit moment here was way bigger than our contingency budget. I had another good point. I kind of forgot it. I'm gonna bring it back here. So just completely ruined. So we had to make a decision here that we're gonna pretty much gut this entire house. So we went from here's my project tracker. We went from a budget from our acquisitions from a $54,000 rehab to final of 120. So we literally doubled our construction budget because we didn't get a home inspection. We can't see what we can't see. We opened up the walls, the foundation was bad. We opened up the floors, there was termite damage and the floors were sinking in. There was termite damage in our walls. We ended up having to literally gut this house. And then on top of that, the one thing that we should have caught was that the layout was bad upstairs. That was one big thing that we missed. The rest of it, just like anything else, this can happen. So like, this is the real side of real estate, guys. Like, you have to be careful. This house is not in a neighborhood. It's on a road, so it could have been built shitty. So what you need to do when you're buying your first rehab or your next rehab, buy in a neighborhood that's built by a builder, 1940s and above, and a cookie cutter type house. Because if this house was in a neighborhood, this probably would not have happened. But I'm gonna go through my profit and cash summary. Tomorrow when I sell this house, I'm about to lose $25,000, $26,000. So we bought it for $160 over here. We put $118 in. I've accrued $21,000 of interest. My commissions, I still have to pay my realtor. I have to pay the other realtor $12,000. Sell it for $292,500. I'm walking out of this house losing 25 grand. So like, this shit happens. But like, when you close on that house and you realize you have these issues, you can't just throw your hands up and walk away. Your losses are going to be greater. So if you're going to take a loss, take it as fast as you can. In this scenario, we had to fix the house up. We knew we could not turn around and sell it on the market for what we bought it for. So like, would I have taken a $25,000 loss 8 months ago faster? Absolutely. But I didn't know, like, maybe I thought we could have sold it. We still maybe could have made money. So we continued with this project and ended up like this, which I'm proud of the house. It's very nice.
The question might come up too, like, why wouldn't you keep it as a rental?
Yeah, I mean, I'll get to the rental thing here. But here's what the property looks like right now. So we opened it up, gutted it out. There's water on the floor because we mopped it before. So we opened this property completely up. The layout's sweet. It's a nice house now. Great rehab. First time home buyer. Person's getting a 2-acre house for $300,000. They're getting a great house. But at the end of the day, we had like 70 showings on this house. And the reason why it didn't sell faster and for more is because of this upstairs right here. So understanding quirkiness, understanding designs will really, really make or break your projects as well. So at the end of the day, I'm walking out of this property tomorrow happy because one, it's off my books, and two, we now know that, like, hey, if we're looking at these houses, let's make sure that we double check it, or we have an inspection, something, or we buy it at a deeper discount. So like that right there is a real life example of me losing money. I mean, what is September 4th? Hopefully tomorrow morning they close. Hopefully they don't walk away. That would suck ass. But it just is what it is. And then for those of you that are like, well, why don't you just keep it as a rental property? Okay, well, let me just do this real quick. So let's say it appraises for $300,000. For rent over here, there's a $2,200 house for rent, 1,500 square foot, 3.3. In a neighborhood. Let's see here. Let's see if there's any comps. I think I could probably rent it for, I don't know, $2,000. Yeah, let's say I rent it for $2,000. Let me pull my calculator out for you. $300,000 appraised value times 0.75, which would be my loan amount. Actually, let's say 0.8, because at that point I could probably rate and term at 80%. $240,000 loan amount. So $240,000 loan. I owe to my lenders here, and I'll have Robbie blur these people out, their names here. My payoff is $277,000 to my lenders. So that's $37,000, right? Yep, $37,000 of money kept in the deal. Plus I have an additional $21,000 of my own money in this. So that's what? $60,000 almost of my own cash in this deal. That's gone. I'm sinking it away. It is what it is. So I sink $60,000 into this, and then let me go over to my mortgage calculator here. $240,000, zero. Let's say I get a 7% or 7.25 interest rate on this thing. At $240,000, my property taxes over here. 718 bar. My property taxes a year are, come on, where are you at? Taxes. $2,000. No, those are wrong. That's crazy. They're paying $81. Yeah, right. God, I'm just gonna do it. Okay. 718 bar. My taxes are. Where are you at, taxes? Well, it's not bad. $2,000. 2,000 divided by 12. So I'm paying $166 a month. Yeah, so let's call it 170. So my payment on this house would be I would break even or lose money every month as a rental. So let's say, so we can bring this all together, I rent it for $2,000. My payment's $1,900. I've got to pay my property management company. I have to fix stuff. So I'm paying $60,000 into a house to break even. Are you guys doing that? Like, I would rather lose the $25,000, get the other $35,000 in my pocket, and just go to the next deal and just call it a day instead of sinking more cash into this thing. Sometimes you got to know when to walk away and when to fold it. You know, like if I could rent that for $2,500, maybe I consider it, but I just don't think that's possible. So at the end of the day, that's what a loss looks like. So let me kind of go into now, let me actually delete some of these tabs. Let me go into now what a perfectly executed flip looks like. So this house sells in a couple of weeks for $199,000. This is a condo, a shared wall condo in Columbus, Ohio, great school district, simple flip, cosmetic. So let me show you guys what this looked like before. All right, oldest first. So we bought this in June 30th. So July, August, September, 3-month rehab. And this is what it looked like. Carpet is not bad, just kind of cosmetically trashed. Windows are good. Living room, and just lived in. So like a condo that's decent. You got a half bath down here. You got your basement that's just trashed with debris. Like this is a rehab you could do by yourself. Okay, you got your living area, your kitchen. Okay, now that you guys got an understanding of what it looks like, it's got a 1-car garage and a patio. Here's what this property looks like now. So we did not change the layout. We didn't change anything along those lines. LVP floors, staged, painted. Got our half bath that I showed you guys. Kitchen, I knocked down the wall, opened it up a little bit, painted the cabinets green, quartz countertops, like very simple stuff, but it looks good, right? So like upstairs, carpeted, here's my shower, bathroom looks good, basement we painted. So like at the end of the day, we knew everything that was in front of us. We could see the basement, we could see the outside, we could see everything. So we knew when we built our scope of work, we were not going to miss anything. So when it came down to it, and we built our scope, I brought this deal in. My budget was $33,700. We spent $33,200. So I went under budget on this thing. My team went under budget on it. $33,000 of rehab. And tomorrow, or not tomorrow, here soon, I'm selling it for $200,000, and we're making $51,000. And I knew this. There were not really that many comps that were super renovated, so that was the one question mark with this. But I bought this house for $100,400, and the commissions, I'm partnered with somebody, so there's no commissions on our side. We're gonna make 50 grand. Like everything was right in front of us. It's lower cost, so there's not a ton of interest that accrued. So my accrued interest as of today is $3 grand from my private money lenders, and that's what a win looks like. So it's a newer built house. It's in a condo association, so there's plenty of comparable sales. It's first time home buyer. It's low maintenance, and it's cosmetic. So like if I was looking for my first flip, if I could do a thousand of these a year, I would. But they just don't come along that often. So when they do, you got to jump on them. Okay, so that's what a win looks like. That's when you can build your scope and you can have everything in front of you before you close. So like we were just dialed in on that one. Next one, 4949 Carbondale. We sold this one a couple months ago for $280. I was trying to figure out one. So the middle ground here is, can you still buy a house, go over budget, or change in the middle and still make money? The answer is yes. So like even if you go over budget, does not mean you're going to lose cash. Because when we got into this house here, I realized that we maybe paid too much for it. I was like, man, as a 3-bed, 1.5 bath, which it was, I don't think this thing sells for $260, which we thought. And when I ran my numbers, I was like, dude, we're going to break even on this, best case. So the decision we had to make was, do we add more value or do we try and sell it as is and cut our losses? So what we realized is, go here, only got a few more minutes here before I got to roll. Carbondale. So this is what this one looked like. And I'm showing you guys real scenarios. These are real houses that you can Google them, search them, go to the auditor. I own them. Cogs Unlimited is my LLC. If you guys don't believe that I buy a lot of houses, go to Franklin County Auditor. Actually. And for those of you that rock with me, you know that I really buy houses. For those of you that don't, Here, let me show you something. This is the auditor site. So I think they do, how many a page? So 25 a page. I've got 3 pages. So right here it says 57. This is my flipping company. I don't hold long-term rentals in this entity. So I have 57 properties between start and sell to finish right now. Okay? Let me show you one more. Okay, Legacy Home Investments is one of my holding companies. Okay, I've got another 2 pages, 37 properties. We've got an 8-unit, a duplex, a 3-unit, a church and a house, another duplex. This is probably 80 units of properties right here. So I don't know. You tell me. Do we really buy assets? I don't really know. So I get a lot of people that talk shit on the internet, and that was I'm venting to you guys right now. So thank you for allowing me to do that. Okay. So Rob's in the background laughing. So we budgeted on the front side to be a quick cosmetic turn. We expected to put $24,000 into this when we were acquiring this. So we bought it for $167,500. $167,500. We thought our ARV was like $240,000. So when we got in, we were like, okay, we're gonna spend $25,000. Sell for $240,000. We ended up looking at the rehab once we got in, and we were not going to make any money. So long story short, here's what the place looked like. Not bad house, by the way. Like, this is a solid house. I'm going to show you guys how fast rehabs rack up. Okay, living room into kitchen. You got a false wall. Cosmetic. I mean, it's just dingy. It's dated, but not in bad shape, guys. So 2-car garage. So we bought this $217,000. We sold it $430,000, I think we just showed. So 2-month rehab start to finish. Finished basement. Actually, this was a 3-bed, 1-bath. It did not have a half bath downstairs. So that was why it was $240,000 ARV. So this was the only bathroom upstairs. So I could have sold this as is for like $220,000, probably broken even. But instead, I knew that, okay, if I probably add another bathroom downstairs, I can sell it for this $280,000 and maybe do a nicer rehab. So like open up the kitchen wall. So this is what it looks like after. Okay, we opened it up, created an island. I mean, you see how the before and after here, like this house is sick, and it's in a very first-time home buyer neighborhood. So painted those ceilings black. We did nice granite countertops. We did our range in the island. Like, this is a house that, like, this went first weekend. This is a badass renovation. It also went $20,000 over ask, by the way. Here's our upstairs bathroom, bedrooms, and then down in the basement where you guys saw, we also framed in a full bath. So we added value by doing that. We did a nice rehab, and it sold for a little bit more. So at the end of the day, we sold it for $280,000 and made $24,000. So things like that can happen if you do a nice rehab and you figure out when you're in there, you're like, you know, maybe I'm not going to make as much as but there's a fine line. So there's a fine line between, do I over rehab this house? Do I sell it as is? So you got to really just look at the neighborhood, because some neighborhoods I know in Columbus, like 43229 in Columbus, the north side, there's a neighborhood that there's very little rehabbed sales. Most all the ARV comps are as is. So it's like when we find something over there, we're like, why would we rehab this? Let's just put it to market and sell it as is. But I know areas like 43206 where in order to get ARV, you have to remove all the walls in the house. You have to fully gut it. So you have to understand your markets. You have to understand what you're doing. And at the end of the day, if you don't, you're going to lose money. You're going to go to be that first house that I showed you guys here today, and you're going to lose cash. So that right there is the real side of real estate, guys. If you guys don't want to lose money on your houses, I'm going to stop sharing here. If you guys don't want to lose money on houses, if you guys want to learn how to rehab, like join my Kickstarter program, $99 a month. It'll teach you everything about how to rehab a house and to wholesale. Further than that, in my mentorship program, listen, we've just recently added where if you're in 26 markets, if you're in any of these 26 markets right here, I have a general contractor team member that will help you start to finish your rehab. You don't have to touch the house. On top of that, we have a private money / hard money lender that will do 100% financing and pay the deposit to that contractor. So you just have to find a deal that works. And my team, and I only do this to my mentorship people because this relationship is worth its weight in gold. I will introduce you to them, and they will run it for you. And you can learn how to flip houses. But beyond that, make sure you like this page, make sure you subscribe. But if you want to join the mentorship, click the link below, hop on a call with my team. If not, continue to watch these videos, show me some love, and don't be afraid of losing money, because once again, batting 300 is a Hall of Famer in baseball. If you lose 1 or 2 out of every 10, which maybe is a little bit much, you're still going to make money in this real estate game. So don't be afraid of failure. Encourage it. Fail forward. Fail often. And welcome to the real side of real estate.